Hello, humans. Welcome back to Dr. Rose Helps You here. I'm Stephanie Rose, and I'm an audiologist. Today, we're going to be talking about low-sodium diets. You might be wondering, what does a low-sodium diet have to do with hearing health? Well, when the body has a lot of sodium, it tends to retain fluid or hold on to fluid. And with ear diseases like Meniere's and cochlear hydrops, the inner ear fills with fluid and it can't regulate. So by having a low sodium diet, this helps to reduce the fluid in the inner ear and can help to stave off episodes of hearing loss and vertigo. You might be wondering, well, how much sodium is low sodium? Well, if you look it up on the American Heart Association, it does specify that 2,000 milligrams per day is a heart healthy diet. Some ear, nose, throat doctors and otologists recommend a diet somewhere around 1,000 or 1,500 milligrams per day. However, it's very important that you speak to your ear doctor or ear physician, otologist, ear, nose, throat doctor, whoever you see, to find out what is an appropriate amount of sodium for you. Things like diuretics can also impact our sodium intake, so it's very important that you speak to a medical doctor and find out what your sodium intake should be. With that in mind, I want to introduce you guys to some of the things that I take to flavor my food and make sure that it's not boring. Low sodium is probably one of the hardest diets I have ever done, and I have done a lot of diets because I struggle with my weight, like many Americans. So I'm going to show you guys some of my favorite flavors that you can put on your food every day to keep life interesting. Before I get into that, the main things you really want to avoid are table salt. So adding extra salt to your food is not a good idea. We also want to avoid canned foods and frozen foods as well. So be careful of your canned soups. Even some of your canned vegetables can be really high in sodium. And then, of course, frozen meals and that sort of thing. So make sure you're actually turning stuff over and looking at the nutrition labels, because just avoiding putting salt on your food is not enough when you have an ear condition. You also want to be very careful about eating fast food, because that is packed with sodium because it's a natural preservative. The first and most easy go-to thing that you can replace table salt with is something called also salt. And I actually don't use also salt because to me it has a weird aftertaste, but it's a potassium-based sodium replacement. So anyway, instead of doing also salt, I use fresh goods like lemons. I love lemon juice on top of steak. I love it on top of my pasta. It's great on salads. So lemon juice, lime juice, any kind of citrus is going to be a great replacement for sodium, because it just gives your tongue a lot of input to sense the food is there. It helps for non-tasters like me who like lots of spicy and salty foods. The other thing that I love a lot of is fresh garlic and also onion. So pretty much 4 out of my 7 meals per week consist of, sauteed onion and garlic with some olive oil. And that alone is just so much flavor. You really don't miss the salt when you intake that kind of a palate. The next thing, too, you want to be careful about your garlic salt, because that still also has a lot of sodium. So I use garlic powder instead. And I get a lot of my herbs from Costco because they have great prices. Another thing you'll find at Costco, this is the Kirkland Signature Organic No Salt Seasoning. So I'll show you guys a little close up there. That one is wonderful. It has a whole bunch of variety of spices in it. 21 organic spices and ingredients. I know just from what I'm tasting, there's got to be a little bit of red pepper. There's organic onion, organic garlic, organic carrot, black pepper, red bell pepper, tomato granules, lots of different stuff in here. And it's great for, I put it on my eggs a lot of the time, and then also meats. It's a really great go-to full flavor non-salt seasoning. Also, there's the brand Miss Dash. You guys are probably familiar with Miss Dash. She's a little pricey, and I tend to go for this one because it's great. You can add to it as well. Other things that have great flavor with no sodium are herbs like paprika. And forgive me, I'm calling this an herb, but I guess you would call it a seasoning. It's not an herb. And forgive me if I did that for some other things. This one here is organic oregano. So I do like some oregano. This is great for Italian foods, for pasta sauce that you're making from scratch. I have a great pasta sauce recipe, or even a pizza sauce recipe, where you just basically roast Roma tomatoes drizzled in olive oil with one red bell pepper, some onion, you put it in the oven at 400 degrees for about 30 minutes, and then you just blend everything together, and it's the most ridiculously good pasta and or pizza sauce, and there's no sodium in it at all. And it's super flavorful. Definitely want to add some garlic in there too, and some oregano. Another great kind of a Mexican flavor I grew up with is cumin. So this can be great added to ground turkey or any other sort of meats that you're trying to make tacos with. So I love that one as well. Of course, we have pepper. Pepper's great. Now, one thing that is really great to help wean yourself off of salt is a really low sodium lemon pepper option. And it has to be, this is the only one I've ever found. It's by McCormick, and it's a California style lemon pepper. So let me show that to you. So that is it. I'm sorry for the poor lighting. Let me come over here. Nope. So that is the best for when you're weaning off of salt. Because it does have 30 milligrams for a quarter teaspoon. So you want to be careful how much of this you're using, but man, it has a lot of flavor, and it does have a tiny, tiny bit of salt in it to help you get your sodium fix. And you should be having some sodium per day. We don't ever want to have 0 sodium per day, because that can affect your brain and your heart and all kinds of things. The one thing that I really love is everything but the bagel seasoning from Trader Joe's. But as we all know, that has salt in it, and I can't have it. So my good friend Amanda Levy, fellow audiologist, Dr. Levy, she actually recommended that I make my own bagel seasoning. So I got some poppy seeds, some minced garlic, some sesame seeds, and then this is a great new thing that I've been using in a lot of different foods, but minced garlic. And then you add just a little bit of garlic powder to that, and boom, you have your own everything. I call it everything but the salt bagel seasoning. And it's just delicious. I add it to cream cheese. You can put it on avocado toast. It's just delicious. In terms of breads can be really high in sodium, so you want to be careful. You can choose brands that have really fresh ingredients that aren't supposed to be on the shelf for a long time. Ezekiel is a really great brand. You can make your own bread and just skip the salt and watch how much ingredients you're putting on there that might contain sodium. So that's one option that you have. I don't eat a lot of bread. I tend to go for corn tortillas because they are the lowest sodium. Pack it in something to eat it that I can find. I think it's like 10 milligrams for 2 little corn tortillas, and I can put eggs on there, meats on there, basically anything. Salads and vegetables, fruits, all of those are go-to foods that you can have. They're really low sodium. They're not 0 sodium, but they're low sodium enough that it won't really affect my ear. And if you haven't seen my other video, I have Meniere's disease, and I have been doing really good with my vertigo lately, and I think that part of it is utilizing a lot of these spices in day-to-day cooking, being careful of eating out, and if I do eat out, I try to make it, a salad with some grilled meats. So and you definitely need to watch your water intake too when you have this condition, and watch your stress levels. So I've been exercising a little bit more, trying to keep my stress level down, and that seems to be helping a little bit. So I had enough energy to collect all of the things today for the video to be able to show you guys what it is that I've been eating. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much to my 600 plus subscribers now. I'm super honored to be making videos for you guys. If there's anything that you want to know about, please put a line in the comments with what type of videos you guys would like to see. I usually respond within 24 hours. And yeah, I think my next one's going to be about vestibular migraines. So hit the bell and stay tuned. Thank you so much again, and stay well out there.